The day the money hits your account isn't the day you feel rich. It's the day you start feeling watched. You sit in your car outside your parents' house. The engine is off. The street is quiet. Your hands are still resting on the steering wheel. On your phone, the bank balance looks so big it almost feels fake. 5 years of work. 5 years of long nights. Missed weekends. And saying no to almost everything. It all ended with one sale. Then your phone lights up. A text from your sister. Mom said congrats. Since when do you have money like that? You stare at the screen. Your heart starts beating faster. You never told your sister. You never told your mom. In fact, you haven't told anyone. The money has only been in your account for less than an hour. So how does anyone know? You look toward your parents' house, wondering if someone is watching from behind the curtains. Your finger hangs over the screen. But you can't think of a reply. You hadn't said the number out loud yet. Until this morning. Your life was simple. You had a steady job. Spent your money carefully. And stayed out of the spotlight. In your family, your sister was always the one people called successful. She got the praise. You got polite smiles. Then everything changed. The sale finally closed. 5 years of building something after work. On weekends. And late at night had turned into more money than you ever thought you would see in one place. You thought the first feeling would be relief. You thought you would smile. Instead, it feels like someone has opened a door you wanted to keep locked. You haven't even walked into your parents' house yet. And somehow, it already feels like everyone is waiting for you. By the time you walk into the house, the smell of food fills every room. Your mom smiles the second she sees you. Your dad gives you a hug that lasts a little longer than usual. The table is already full. Your favorite meal is waiting. Nobody talks about numbers. Not at first. They laugh. They tell old stories. They remind you of the days when you could barely pay your bills. For a while, it feels normal. It feels like nothing has changed. You let yourself relax. Maybe you worried for nothing. Maybe this night is only about family. Your mom raises her glass with a proud smile. To your hard work, she says. Everyone cheers. You smile back, feeling something close to peace. Then your sister leans back in her chair with a grin. So she says, I guess you're buying me a new car now. The whole table laughs. Your dad shakes his head. Your mom tells her to stop teasing you. Even you force out a small laugh. But your sister keeps smiling. She is looking straight at you. She is waiting. You notice she never says she is joking. She only lets everyone else believe she is. A joke is the safest place to hide a real request. The talk moves on. But something has changed. Your sister starts asking small questions. What kind of car do you drive now? Are you still living in that old place? You're not planning to keep all that money sitting in the bank, are you? Each question sounds light. Each one makes the room laugh. But each one reaches a little deeper. You answer with short replies. You try to keep the mood easy. Still, you can feel eyes staying on you a little longer than before. For years, your family looked at you and saw the quiet one. Tonight, they are looking at you like you have become something else. And for the first time, you begin to wonder if the hardest part was never making the money. Maybe the hardest part is what happens after everyone knows you have it. 2 weeks later, your phone buzzes again. This time, it is not a text. It is a photo. Your sister is standing in front of a beach with clear blue water behind her. She is smiling at the camera like she has nothing to worry about. A suitcase sits by her side. The hotel looks expensive. The kind of place that serves breakfast by the pool and hands you cold towels when you arrive. Then you notice the caption. Living my best life. Thanks for always having my back. She tags you. Friends begin to like the post. People leave comments. Your brother is taking good care of you. Must be nice to have a rich brother. Don't forget us when you get back. You never paid for the trip. You were never asked. You sit there staring at the screen, reading the same words again and again. Then you start doing quiet math in your head. You know where your sister works. You know what her job pays. You know how much rent costs. You know she still has a car loan. You know she complained about grocery prices just last month. None of it adds up. The flights, the hotel, the new clothes she is wearing, the fancy dinners she keeps posting every night. It is more money than her paycheck can carry. Yet she acts like it all makes perfect sense. She never says you paid. She never says you did not. She leaves the story unfinished because unfinished stories let people believe whatever they want. And most people choose the version that sounds the richest. On social media, people do not spend only money. They spend status. Every photo is a message. Every tag tells a story. Sometimes the story is worth more than the trip itself. You think about asking her to remove your name. You even type the message. Then you erase it. You tell yourself it is only one post. Only one vacation. Only one misunderstanding. But deep down, you know it is not. The tag was not an accident. It was a signal. Without saying a single word, she had connected your name to her new lifestyle. Now every person who sees those photos believes one thing. If she wants something, she only has to ask you. And once people believe someone else is paying the bill, they stop wondering who really earned the money in the first place. The first call comes from your aunt. You have not spoken to her in months. She asks about your health. She asks about work. She tells you how proud she is. Then her voice becomes softer. I only need a little to get started. She says, just enough to help me open a small business. Once it grows, I'll pay you back. The amount sounds small when she says it. But you know it is not the last request. It is only the first. You tell her you need time to think. She says she understands. Yet before the call ends, she reminds you how family should always help family. You put your phone down and sit in silence. A week ago, nobody needed your help. Now everyone seems to have a plan waiting for your money. Even your mom begins to change. Not in a loud way. In small ways. She no longer says your name as often. Instead, she smiles and says, well, you're comfortable now. Maybe you can help your cousin. That bill shouldn't be too hard. You're comfortable now. It would mean a lot. The words sound kind. But they slowly become your new name. Not son. Not the quiet one. Not the hard worker. Just the one who is comfortable. Then your sister makes it even harder. You are standing with relatives after church when someone asks about her vacation. She laughs. Oh, we're doing fine. She says, we're in a good place now. You look around. People are smiling. She keeps talking. Our money has opened a lot of doors. The word lands harder than you expect. Nobody questions it. Nobody looks surprised. Some even nod like it is the most normal thing in the world. You force a smile. But it feels heavy. You worked alone. You stayed up through long nights alone. You carried every risk alone. Yet one small word changes the whole story. People do not always try to take your money first. Sometimes they take ownership of it. And once they start calling it ours, saying no begins to sound like you are keeping something that already belongs to everyone else. A few days later, your sister asks if you can come over. It won't take long. She says, I just want to talk. You already know what the talk will be about. She has papers spread across the kitchen table when you arrive. There are notes, numbers, and pictures of a small business she wants to start. She smiles as you sit down. I've done the research. She says, this is basically guaranteed. People always need this. We can make the money back fast. She keeps saying we. You listen without stopping her. The idea is not terrible. But it is not as safe as she believes. Some of the costs are missing. The numbers are too hopeful. The plan depends on everything going right. You have built a business before. You know real life does not work that way. Businesses fail. Customers change their minds. Bills show up when you least expect them. The smart answer is clear. You should tell her to start small. Save her own money. Test the idea first. Take the risk a step at a time. That is exactly what you did. Instead, you sit there looking at her. You remember all the years when everyone believed she would be the successful one. You remember the times she cheered for you when nobody else noticed your late nights. You remember your mom saying family should help each other. A heavy feeling settles in your chest. You made it. She did not. At least, that is how it feels. The guilt grows louder than your common sense. Finally, she looks at you and asks the question she has been holding back. So, will you help me? The room goes quiet. You already know the right answer. You also know the answer that will make everyone happy. They are not the same. You take a slow breath. Then you say yes. Her face lights up. She jumps from her chair and hugs you. She thanks you again and again. For a moment, you almost believe you made the right choice. But deep inside, another thought refuses to leave. The first time you give money because of guilt, you are not investing in a business. You are paying to protect a relationship. And that is the kind of investment that rarely earns anything back. A month later, you move into your new house. You do not tell many people. You hire a small truck and plan to do most of the work yourself. Early that morning, a car pulls into the driveway. Your sister steps out. I figured you could use another pair of hands. She says with a smile. You never asked her to come. She spends the whole day carrying heavy boxes. She helps build shelves. She cleans the kitchen before you even notice it is dirty. When lunch comes, she buys food for both of you. She never complains. She never brings up the business money. As the sun begins to set, the last box is finally inside. You reach into your wallet. At least let me pay you for today. You say. She gently pushes your hand away. No. She says. I've got you now. I promise. The words stay with you. For the first time in weeks. The pressure fades. Maybe you judged her too quickly. Maybe she never cared about the money as much as you feared. Maybe she only wanted to feel close to you again. You watch her drive away, feeling lighter than you have in a long time. That night, you stop locking parts of your life away. You tell her more about your plans. You answer her questions without thinking twice. When she calls, you pick up right away. When she asks how work is going, you tell her the truth. The wall you spent weeks building slowly comes down. Trust is strange. It is not always earned with big promises. Sometimes it returns because of one long day, tired hands, and a simple sentence spoken at the right time. You let your guard down completely. And you have no idea that the hardest lesson is still waiting for you. 3 months later, the calls become less frequent. Your sister no longer talks about new customers. She stops posting updates. When you ask how the business is doing, she gives short answers. It's been slow. We've had a few problems. I'm working through it. Then one evening, she asks if you can stop by. The same kitchen table is waiting. The papers are gone. The excitement is gone too. She folds her hands and looks at you. It didn't work out. She says. The business is already closing. The money is gone. There is no plan to fix it. No careful review of what went wrong. No quiet moment where she says, I'm sorry. She talks about bad luck. She talks about the economy. She talks about people who let her down. She never talks about the choice she made. You wait for an apology. It never comes. Instead, she leans forward. I've been thinking. She says. If we put in a little more, we can get everything back on track. You blink. You are not sure you heard her right. She keeps talking. It doesn't have to be a lot. We've already come this far. We can't stop now. The words hit you harder than the loss. She is not asking for new help. She is talking as if the next payment is simply the next step. As if saying yes the first time also meant saying yes forever. You feel the room grow quiet. You remember every late night that built your savings. Every risk you carried alone. Every hour you gave up so this money could exist. Now it is being treated like a tap that should never stop flowing. Generosity given once becomes the expected baseline. That is the part nobody warns you about. The first gift feels special. The second becomes normal. By the third, people stop calling it help. They start calling it support. And when support becomes expected, refusing it sounds like betrayal. Your sister watches you, waiting for your answer. She does not look worried. She does not look ashamed. She looks certain. Certain that you will do what you did before. For the first time since the money arrived, you understand something that has nothing to do with business. Losing money hurts. But teaching people that your kindness has no limit can cost far more than anything you ever wrote on a check. You do not raise your voice. You do not make a speech. You do not explain every reason. You simply look at your sister and say, no. The word hangs in the air. She waits for more. There is nothing else to add. You are not angry. You are not trying to hurt her. You are only protecting what you worked so hard to build. She slowly nods. Okay, she says. But her face says something different. She leaves without smiling. The next call comes from your mom. She does not ask about the failed business. She does not ask how much money was already lost. Instead, she asks one question. How could you turn your back on your own sister? You try to explain. You remind her that you already helped. You remind her that the business failed. You tell her you cannot keep paying for every new idea. She sighs. You've changed. She says quietly. Not because you lost money. Not because the plan failed. Because you said no. That is the part she cannot forgive. From that day on, small things begin to change. No one argues with you. No one shouts. It is much quieter than that. A cousin laughs and calls you Mr. Rich when you walk into a family gathering. Everyone smiles. No one tells him to stop. The name sticks. Family dinners happen without anyone telling you. You only find out later when photos appear online. When you do get invited, the room feels different. Conversations stop for a second when you enter. People smile. But the smiles do not stay long. The warmth you once felt is harder to find. You sit at the table, yet somehow feel outside it. No one says you do not belong. They do not have to. Sometimes people do not punish you with loud words. They punish you by making you feel like a guest in your own family. You begin to understand that setting a boundary does more than protect your money. It shows people where your limits are. And the people who benefited most from having no limits are often the first to become cold when they finally find one. The next holiday arrives. You almost stay home. But you tell yourself they are still your family. Maybe enough time has passed. Maybe things will feel normal again. The table is full. People laugh. Children run through the house. For a while, everything feels peaceful. Then someone asks your sister how she has been doing. She shrugs. It's been hard, she says. A few people nod. Then she looks at you. Her voice stays calm. So did you. The room goes quiet. She takes a slow breath. You didn't get rich, she says. You just stopped being one of us. No one speaks. Your mom looks down at her plate. Your dad says nothing. Your aunt quietly takes another bite of food. Nobody tells your sister she is wrong. Nobody reminds the room that you already helped. Nobody mentions the money you gave. Nobody talks about the nights you worked while everyone else was asleep. The silence says everything. You look around the table. These are the people you wanted to make proud. These are the people you hoped would be happy for you. Instead, they are waiting for you to defend yourself. You do not. You stand up. You thank your mom for the meal. Then you quietly walk to the door. No shouting. No anger. No final speech. Some arguments cannot be won because the other side is not looking for the truth. They are looking for someone to blame. As you drive home, you realize something that changes the way you see success. Money did not separate you from your family. Expectations did. The moment your value became measured by what you could give, your love was no longer enough. If you are lucky enough to build wealth, protect more than your bank account. Protect your peace. Help because you choose to. Not because you are afraid to say no. The people who truly love you will still know your worth even when your wallet stays closed. And if someone only calls you family when your money is open, they were never asking for your love in the first place. They were asking for your resources. That is a difference you should never ignore.